So Will's been with us for about 6 months now, and has really made himself indispensable here to the company. Although if you look at his tie, you can tell taste level, maybe not so sure.
Questionable.
So Will saw my rant video from a couple of weeks ago and really wanted to counterpoint a few of my watches. By the way, thank you. I asked for you guys to talk me off the ledge. You did a great job doing so. The comment section was hilarious, so I really appreciate that. And so today, Will is going to defend some of the watches that I critiqued on my last video. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Oliver Smith Watches. I am George, and this is Will. For those of you who have not met Will, he's relatively new here to the family at Oliver Smith, but not to us. I've known Will since he was, I think, 12. Used to come into our old Tourneau store, ask pertinent questions. He had an interest early on, which was great. And then in adulthood, he went to work for the Hublot boutique, which is where we stole him from. So one of the first watches in my rant video, and we'll go ahead and link that below, was the Yacht Master II. Now, when this first hit my radar, it was in print, and I said this in the video. I distinctly remember thinking, "Oh, cool! Rolex has a sense of humor," because I thought it was a joke. There's no way you're going to make a 44 millimeter watch with a red, white, and blue dial and a yacht timing. And what's really interesting is it's really innovative in how it does a useless complication that nobody knows. But yeah, and then I saw it live and it really didn't change my opinion. So defend.
I wouldn't say it's a useless complication. It's a 10-minute countdown timer, which it's the first 10-minute countdown regatta timer that Rolex has ever done.
Absolutely.
And a lot of other brands do, like Panerai, do a regatta timer, and nobody gives them as much crap as when Rolex does it. And you know, the color scheme, yes, it is Rolex being fun. The very serious conservative brand is doing something fun and different and interesting. It's not
I can see that a little tongue-in-cheek. And I'll defend other regatta timers in that they are usually a standard chronograph with some sort of adaptation for that. Not strictly a 10-minute countdown timer, which is just mind-blowingly bizarre to me, especially coming from a conservative brand like Rolex. It would be like Patek doing something in carbon fiber. It was just so unusual for me to see that I found it alarmingly confusing.
It's very out of left field for Rolex to do, but the 10-minute countdown timer, at least to me, is not useless. You can time cooking, car races. Yachting, of course, but we're not doing that.
That's exactly how we talk about most chronographs. Most of us are not racing. Horses, cars, anything like that. So the purpose of the chronograph in and of itself is ironically useless. But I use mine in cooking all the time. Grilling steaks, 2 minutes aside, that whole kind of thing. Wife says, meet me in a half an hour. You go, cool. And you can mark that time and make something that is useless, useful in your life. So exactly. Fair point there. So at 44, you claim that it's comfortable on the wrist.
Yes.
I disagree. I have a 7.25 inch wrist and it's just too much watch for me. Now that's going to be personal preference. I get that. But comfortable would be a stretch for me in any of its forms, even the stainless steel.
How big is your Panerai radiomer?
45.
How comfortable is the Panerai radiomer?
Very, but it's on a strap and it's much thinner. I think you're onto something there. It's not necessarily the diameter. I think it's more, for me, more of the deck height. Yeah. The Yacht 2 stands very proud for any watch, really. It's no deep sea, but we'll get into that in a second too.
It's not. But it stands proud for a reason. It's got legibility.
Yeah.
You have a complication that you do need to keep track of.
Yeah.
So the size does help with legibility. And It's one of the few Rolexes with a sub-seconds counter.
Well, what about Cellini?
Well, nobody really cares about Cellini.
Facts. So, okay. So let's move on to the next. We'll agree to disagree on the Yacht Master II.
I can live with that.
I've heard you on the floor talking about your love of the Deep Sea 44.
Oh, great piece.
Which is one of my most hated watches from Rolex. At least initially, that first gen of it was really extreme to the stuff that I was talking about in the rant video. That fall off the case to the bracelet, how thick it stands, was very hard for me to see on my wrist. So again, defend.
Well, the Deep Sea 44 has a purpose. It is meant to go very deep. Has 11,800 feet of water resistance.
Yeah.
That's a deep watch. It's meant to be an overgrown Submariner, and it doesn't apologize for being a big watch. It's proud to be as large as it is.
And it's funny you say that too. One of the comments was about how Rolex does all of these offshoot watches right next to a core of like 20 SKUs that are absolutely perfect and have stood the test of time. And I kind of went, okay, all right, fair. So there's almost like this subset where they're exploring, they're doing very, very specific things for specific purposes and maybe not necessarily for the general public.
It's almost like they're testing out new methods and materials with the Deep Sea. I mean, we're seeing it with the new Deep Sea 50 being the first titanium Rolex. I mean, the ratcheting dive clasp, for example, on the Deep Sea 44.
Sure. Yeah.
Easy to adjust.
Yeah.
Very
It's
durable.
a great clasp. No, there are things about it I absolutely like and completely agree with. It was just the overall size and proportion, I think, was my real difficulty there. But hey, at least it's not 50 millimeters.
I'm going to reserve judgment to when I see one in person, and then we might be defending that one as well.
Still haven't gotten hands-on with that yet, but when we can, I would love to have a review of that watch.
Me too.
I need to see it in the flesh before I can really rip on it. So we'll let that one go.
We'll let that one. We'll let sleeping dogs lie on that one.
And then third and final is something really weird that I think we both agree on. And that's factory gem set from Rolex. I didn't even really disparage it in the rant because it's hard for me to because it's such a specific thing. And I remember working for Tourneau, and it was when those animal print Daytonas had come out. And we had them in white gold, and it was either yellow or rose. I don't remember which one it was, but it was basically like a zebra stripe dial and a tiger stripe dial. And the gem set went down onto the case band, and then they were on these vinyl straps that, I mean, the whole thing was, again, just horrible. But that was 15 years ago now. And fast forward, and I see like pictures of Nick Cage in the watch, and Nick's eclectic. Yeah, I get it. But like, that's a cool watch.
And that's the point of that collection is it's different.
Yep.
It doesn't need to conform to anything, really. It's Rolex being different. And they do a very good job setting gems, though. You know, they use the top 4 color grades. They line up the tables. They do a great job.
If you haven't seen actual gem set, we're not talking about 47th Street bust downs. If you haven't seen actual Rolex gem set, do yourself a favor and go find one and check it out. The first time I saw the Rainbow Daytona, was up in Aspen. Young guy was wearing it. And he was wearing it, I think, the way you should wear that watch. He was like in sweats. You know, he had the Yeezys on and just the watch just peeking out. And I kind of stopped and went, and big smile on his face. We understood everything in that one moment. Took it off, handed it to me. And oh my goodness, to have those sapphires so perfectly graduated around that watch, set so perfectly, you go, okay, cool. Is it for me? It's not for me. But do I understand it? Do I appreciate it? Oh God, yeah. It is spectacular, man. Do yourself a favor. If you happen to be up in Aspen, we usually have 1 or 2 of them up there. Check it out for sure.
It'll change your opinion when you see it in person.
Yeah.
And how well Rolex sets these gems. And as I said, it's like a piece of art.
Yeah.
It's subjective.
Yeah.
You know, it's very well done from a technical standpoint, but some people just don't like it.
One warning, not for the wallflower.
No.
It is going to be for that peacock in the room for sure. Everybody's going to look at that watch. Everybody's going to see that watch, and you better be able to have that conversation with people.
Absolutely.
But folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for giving Will your time here as well.
Thank you.
If you're a watch guy, we'd love to meet you. Stop in anytime. We're all here to chat with you, and I think you'll probably see something you really like. So if you get a chance, please stop by and say hi. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.